Hello everyone, welcome to Onion Skin, and in this video we're going to be continuing on preparing a character for rigging with a cutout animation style. In the last video we set up all the layers and the proper hierarchy for this character, and now we're going to start inking those layers piece by piece. Let's get to it. Oop. Make sure I have the black selected. That would be off to a bad start. So right away you can see here that I'm taking a lot more care in each line. By holding the Option and the Command tool, I'm not sure what it would be on a PC, it would be down there somewhere. You can rotate the canvas as you just saw there, and Shift C should lock it back to center. If it doesn't do that, there's a little button down here in the camera view that will rotate everything back to 100%, you know, like frame it how it should be back to normal, and if you press it again, it'll return it to the view you were at before. So this is quite handy to quickly check the work and then go back to what you were working on. Okay, so that's the left foot done, so now I'm going to flip up to leg upper right. You can see the other drawing has faded away. So I've got my own drawing here now. I forgot on the sketch portion to put in the upper thighs, but that is a thing that is important, so I'm going to draw that in. Notice how careful I'm being with my lines. It's often taking several attempts to get each one in, trying to get them to line up as closely as possible. If there's a sticky outy bit, sometimes the cutter tool works magic there. If not, the eraser will do a nice job as well. Okay, these legs might be a mirror. Haven't decided yet. Guess we'll come back to that. So I'm going to skip the right foot and just go up to hand right is the next layer. The Shift tool is also super handy at this point. I've done a video covering that, so if you haven't seen it before, definitely go check out the Marvelous and Mysterious Shift Key video. It's the best feature, and I use it all the time, and so many animators that I talk to, they keep accidentally pressing the Shift key now when they use Photoshop, because it's just become such a reliable part of their process. I don't know why every program doesn't have it. It's so nice. Okay, as I'm doing the hand here, you might be wondering why I'm drawing it as a solid piece and haven't made all the individual fingers their own layer. And that's because rather than puppeteering the hands, they're going to have their own... They're going to be done using swap outs. So as we start making the animation, we'll be building up a little library of hand positions as we need them. And you can simply swap them out as the animation plays. So a pointy hand, a fist hand. We can even animate frame by frame a hand moving and have that play out as a motion tweened arm goes. And be very careful to not forget to change layer when you finish drawing each part, otherwise you might stuff yourself up big time. Now as I'm drawing these parts, if you select the parts with the selection tool, you'll probably notice that all these black pieces are still their own individual shapes, and I can pull them apart. If you want to, you can make it so that it's automatically flattened. In the tool properties, there is a button here that will make it so when you draw over parts, they'll automatically become their own one flattened piece. But I tend not to do that at this stage for the reason that I just explained. If you accidentally don't shift up to the next layer when you're supposed to, and you find yourself drawing over the top of other artworks, so like, you know, what's happening here by drawing over this elbow, right? It's on a different layer, so it's not interacting here, but imagine if I forgot and I was drawing over the original one. With the auto flatten turned off, no real dramas. I can just select those lines and cut and paste them into the next layer. But if auto flatten's turned on, they've all become one shape. You've stuffed yourself up. You got to go back and just draw it all again. as I'm drawing this shoulder pad, I have just realized that arm upper doesn't, that shoulder and shoulder pad are the same thing. I thought this would be shoulder and this would be shoulder pad, but it's just arm upper, isn't it? So I'm gonna leave shoulder pad layer just empty for now, and I'll sort that out later. Waist is next. So yeah, drawing this artwork is a bit of a lengthy process, but you only really need to do it once for each character, so you know, that's pretty good. Consider how much time we're going to be saving in the long run, because we're just going to be using this one drawing for so much content and so much storytelling that it's worth spending the time to get it right and to get it looking good and to make sure that you're happy with it. It would suck to commit yourself to a whole series with a rig that you just think is gross. Remember that I'm going to make the collar and the tie their own layer, so I'm going to leave that out for now. I'm going to add this extra big tear here. So if the shoulder pad moves too far up, moves really far up, it should still remain mostly hidden under there. So there's more lines that I want, so I'm going to use the cutter tool to hopefully... No, that's not doing it. So I'm going to trim these parts away as well to tidy that up. Oop. Eraser's being dumb though, so remember the brush, the eraser also has a minimum thickness size. Like that. There we go. That's better. Ooh. Getting out a few of these lines actually. Cool. Alright, it's also done. Collar and tie. Okay, so why aren't I using the pencil tool for this? You could, and if you're using Advanced or Premium, I'd probably recommend it because it does work like the brush. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a pressure sensitive pencil, so you can still use it and it will look fine. But for this image, I definitely prefer to be able to have a bit of weight variation, and it just feels a bit more natural to draw with. And the final result is the same as using the pressure sensitive pencil in Advanced anyway, so that's all good. The main advantage you get from the pressure pencil is being able to zoom it in and out or reuse it at different sizes, and the line thickness will auto adjust itself to follow suit. That collar is probably going to end up being way too high, but because it's its own layer, I can come back and fix it if when we start animating it, it looks super, super dumb. Oops. Remember the arms are going to be a mirror, so I'm going to leave the left ones for now and just move straight onto the head. And just draw the red parts in the background there. Not to get confused with the faceplate just yet. I just remember that this eye needs to go behind this mohawky thingy. So I'm gonna have to create a new layer to host that. This is looking dumb, isn't it? You know what? Screw trying to draw perfect circles. Let's just make one. So this is a vector stroke, which means its size can be auto-adjusted like that. So make that about the same size as a brush stroke. And then... still a bit thick. And then go to... Oh. That's a poop. I didn't know that was a thing! Ah. In Advanced and Premium, you can convert these to be a fill, so it would look just like a brush, but I can't see it here. I guess Essentials doesn't have it. Ah, that sucks. Oh well. Guess I will just have to draw it and hope for the best. Sorry, Essentials guys. But today I feel your pain. I guess that's the thing about all those videos I did about the difference between the different versions is I really don't know all of it. I just kind of keep discovering stuff. That's why those videos took a while to come out, because I kept finding new things like, oh, I need to put that in. But I guess I need to face fate and realize that I'm just going to keep finding more stuff all the time. It's starting to look okay, but just that thick bulge is gross. That's even worse. This is the worst. This is the worst. I'm gonna have to live with that. Okay, eye left. Man, I'm just having a horrible time with drawing circles today. Come on. There we go. No, still no good. Still no good. Ah, yeah. I'm destroying myself. I mean, come on. Okay, right eye. I stuffed up what order they're on. That's not the left eye. That's the right eye. And before you go correcting me, I'm talking about cam left. There we go. That's the cam right eye. Cam left eye. If that phrase is new to you, keep it in mind. It saves a stupid amount of confusion when collaborating. You say his left foot needs to be bigger. I'm like, oh, what's that? Is that left foot or... Is that his left foot or like the other left foot? Or his cam left foot? I'm like, oh, okay, well, now there's no discussion. No chance of making a mistake. Left eye. Cam left eyebrow. Yeah. Right eyebrow. I cannot wait to start animating with these characters. It's been an idea I've had in mind for so long. and before now I have never had a good opportunity to actually bring them to life, and I thought they'd be a perfect one for this series, because anyone can use them, and you know, there's so many different kinds of stories you could tell with these characters, and I think it would be a lot of fun if I kind of just make, you know, rather than just had them as, you know, oh, these are my characters and this is my story, and they go on all these crazy adventures. That's boring. Let's make them open source. We'll make stories with them and see what stupid things that they get up to. Because it's a fairly easy, because, you know, it's a pretty easy concept to understand. I haven't exactly explained what their story is. But to give you a gist on the idea of what the story of these characters are and what we'll end up making with them is... go away. There's two robots that live in just modern everyday life that are fully trained and armed, full-on death machines, but live in a regular urban domestic environment. They're a husband and wife and have an adopted human son who has no idea he's adopted. And also seems to be the only one who doesn't find this strange, that his parents are death machines. Hello, I'm reporting from the future, because I didn't really notice it at the time, but you see how I'm erasing around all of these little edges, because the cutter didn't seem to be working. Didn't really give it much thought for some reason, but upon reflection, while editing, I quickly realized why. If you peek down at the bottom right of my tool properties panel, you should be able to see that the auto flatten button is turned on. So all of my vector strokes are being merged into one shape, and this means the cutter tool doesn't know what to do, because it will cut away the whole thing. The cutter tool works by having two different vector shapes that are overlapping in some way, and then will trim it off to the shape and size of the other. So that's what I should have done, and another good reason why I recommend working with the auto flatten off most of the time. Okay, with those plates done, I mustn't forget to do the new Mohawk thing, so I'm going to create a new layer here, call it Mohawk. That's probably not how it's spelt, but I'm an idiot, so whatever. It's not going to be the whole thing, because the ones around the back of the head are, of course, round the back. So I'm going to put a few spikes back on the head layer over there. But just these few will be on the front, layered like so. Trim away these dumb parts here. There we go. And I want this to have a bit of embossing, so I'm going to lower the thickness of the brush way down and just do that. Oops. Again, my curves. I do not have luscious curves as much as I wish I did. Okay, the inking is pretty well done. I think this is a good place to leave it for this video. Next time we'll be polishing things up, flipping those arms and legs, and getting this vector art ready for the next step. So I hope to see you then. Thanks for coming by. I hope you got something out of it. If you got stuck somewhere or something was a bit tricky, or if you have an idea for something else you'd like to see in a video, please let me know. In the meantime, you can check out some of my other stuff in those links just there. Whoa. But thanks again, and I'll see you again soon.